so good.
Every week with That Show is Good.
Yo.
On the Protagonist seat.
Protagonist seat. That's what this is. We watched some anime.
Yeah, significantly less than when we started.
Exactly, but still good. Actually,
Feels so good.
I'd say net better than when we started.
Yeah, we got rid of the bad ones. Sorry, slime fans.
Yeah, sorry, slime heads. But GG.
Slime heads. That's their
new thing. That's what's going through the grapevine.
They're like, yeah, dude, what shows do you like? Dude, I'm a huge slime head.
I'm a slime head.
Makes it sound like that's like a metal band.
That'd be a real weird metal band. It's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Time in the Slime or whatever that fucking movie is subtitled.
I don't even remember it.
It's okay.
Goblin Slayer, though. I remember that because that came out today.
I do remember Goblin Slayer because it did actually come out today.
Yeah.
Dating episodes.
Yeah, where, so the start of this episode, Goblin Slayer almost died last time, and he wakes up, and he and Priestess are both naked together.
Well, they're anime ready for TV naked, which means Goblin Slayer has like boxer briefs on.
And she didn't have anything on, but she had the blankets covering her.
Exactly. Turns out when you die, all you need to do is fuck a virgin, and then you come back to life. That's how resurrection works in this world.
Yeah.
And then big titty
Sword Maiden
lady comes in and she's like, yo, I'm sorry, I would have done it. I would have been the real bro here, but I can't claim that anymore because goblins.
And then you see his flashbacks to learning, where he was trained by some mentor guy who looks like some weird creature. I have no idea what the fuck that guy is.
I thought he looked like some kind of weird rat kobold mix.
Yeah, he's like a kobold rat monster man.
Yeah, it's weird, and he dropped icicles on him, but not on him, just near him. And he threw a rock at his head.
Yeah, and then the rest of the episode, they go back into the same dungeon, and they go and fight a eye monster, because Beholder is a Wizards of the Coast exclusive copyrighted thing.
They fight a totally not copyrighted eye monster.
And it can use Disintegration Ray.
And anything it looks at dispels magic.
So they basically... Yeah. Oh, and he has ASMR Mage Lady and Budget Kukulane show up. And they bring him some, I think it's like fine powder.
It's flour. They bring him very fine flour.
And because he requested it of them, and Budget Kukulane guy's kind of like pissed about it because he had to go all the way to deliver it.
I would be too. If I was a powerful warrior and suddenly my mage was like, we have to go deliver this to the guy you hate. We need to deliver flour to the man you hate.
Funny enough, I know she's supposed to be sexy. I find her so annoying.
Her cadence is irritating.
It's like, speak faster.
I don't have all time to listen to you add the last word of this sentence. I know what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. The subtitles tell me what the sentence is. Just please, can I skip this dialogue?
Yeah.
But they go into the dungeon with it. And basically...
And yeah, Elf put stupid rules on him where he can't use water, fire, or poison gas to kill anything.
Yeah, I remember she did that at the start of this dungeon. Because technically they left this dungeon and came back to it. Because I guess they didn't really talk about it literally at all. But I suppose it was the Beholder who was teaching the goblins how to do shit.
Maybe?
Because, like, otherwise why would Goblin Slayer give a shit about it?
Yeah, well, unless they had to go through that way to...
I don't know, because isn't that just a big, like a big room?
No, they showed a mirror at the end. It looks like a portal.
That's right. There is the big mirror portal. I forgot about that. Because it's just kind of there at the end.
Yeah.
But basically, they fill the room with the fine powder. Priestess seals it off with her protection spell. And then they have one of shaman, lizard man's dragon tooth warriors go in, get disintegrated, and the whole room blows up.
Yeah, which technically, I guess it doesn't count as using fire. Yeah, he tells bullshit. To her. Yeah, he used fire.
He used fire, and then he was like, "No, but it's an explosion. It's not." Or I didn't directly use fire, so it's fine. Mm-hmm. That's some loophole-ass bullshit.
Yeah. And that was the whole episode.
Yeah. I thought the Beholder fight was cool because it was a Beholder, and I was like, I know the capabilities of that monster.
Yeah.
And I thought the way they killed it was cool because that's an actual thing. Because I know they have I forget where I read this, but there's an actual thing where, like, in grain silos and stuff, they could go up real fast.
I just assume
blow shit up.
I assume they just could go up fast because of the grain.
No, it turns out that all those fine particulates of grain and dust and shit being locked in there can actually, like, explode and are very volatile.
I see.
And they brought in that same theory here where they blew up a Beholder with flour.
I think he mentions he learned it, I think, from Cowgirl, maybe? He mentioned something that he learned from her, and she works on a farm, so I guess that might make sense.
Probably. I know in this episode we also learned that someone invented ice cream.
Yeah.
And they were very excited about it.
And then it was a lot of just Goblin Slayer and Priestess hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
And you get to see him without his helmet for the first time in the show.
Yeah.
Where you don't see his face or anything, but you get his chin.
You see what his hairstyle looks like.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And he's got a lot of scars.
Is brown. He's got brown hair, for anyone wondering. And yeah, and a fuck ton of scars.
He is presumably a handsome man.
That I'm assuming so. Can't see his face.
Yeah, you can't see his face.
Oh, and there's a part where he fixes his armor, and he's just walking around in like a long sleeve shirt
keeps
with
the helmet on.
Yeah, with his helmet. And I saw that, and I was like, "This is amazing. That's actually great. I love it."
I wish they spent more time on that, but it kind of cuts to it being finished right away.
Yeah.
Oh, and Priestess gets her chainmail fixed, and everyone says it would be cheaper to just get a new set of chainmail, but she wants to keep that one because it's sentimental to her because that's the first thing he complimented her on.
Yep. And she tells Goblin Slayer this, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess it is."
I see.
Yeah. Soka. That is his reaction to fucking everything.
And then she's like, "You say I see too much. Soka."
Yeah. I like this show. It's real good.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
I like it.
I notice it's not it's not really an eventful show.
No.
You get like one thing per episode.
There's generally like an action scene, and there's just a lot of the characters kind of bumming around doing adventure type stuff and just hanging out. And I actually like watching these characters kind of hang out.
Yeah.
Next,
specifically Priestess, because I really like Priestess.
I do also really like Priestess. She's very nice.
But yeah, next.
Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, or does he?
He
kind of does.
Yeah, and Science Girl arc wrapped up in 2 episodes.
Yeah, I liked the shit out of it. I think this arc was actually super interesting. It delved into a side character I wasn't entirely sure at first we would get development on, and I'm happy we did. Basically, he continues meeting and talking to the other 2. I think
her full name is Rio Futaba.
Yeah, I'll say I'll call her Sexy Rio and Glasses Rio. Sexy Rio is the one who's been posting hot lewds, I should say, on the interwebs. Basically, there's a creeper on the interwebs because naturally,
that's where they are.
That's what you fucking creepers on the internet do. I see you there. I see you.
Not on our Twitter or our YouTube page though.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one here. It's a ghost town.
If you want to creep, you can.
Yeah.
Come say hi. We like it when people say hi.
No one says hi anymore.
No one says hello to me anymore.
Nobody visits.
But there's a creeper who's like, hey, I recognize your uniform. I'm not that far. Meet up with me or else I'll tell your school. And best man.
Yeah, his response is to take her phone and type to the guy, I'm calling the police.
Yeah, and then he's like, there, problem solved. And then she tells him, hey, can you delete that account now? Because that's actually kind of creepy.
And she's afraid, so she has him stay over her house.
Yes, and it's basically a repeat of what he was doing at his own house with Glasses Rio.
And she's sad because, again, she likes the sporty best friend character, but he has a girlfriend. And so because he feels bad and wants to show that even though he has a girlfriend, he still cares about her, he calls him up and says, hey, Futaba needs to talk to you. It's an emergency.
Yeah, she's in a pinch. We need you to come this super fast.
And in the middle of the night, he rushes out to see what's wrong, and then she's really happy he came, so she cries, and then they all do fireworks stuff on the beach and hang out.
Yeah, they hang out and shoot fireworks
and
at each other.
They pull an all-nighter.
Yeah, and it's the first time Rio has ever pulled an all-nighter.
And she's really happy, and she takes a picture of them all together, and the other Rio finds out about it, and she's like, oh, I don't need to exist then, I guess, because the other one's happy, and she runs away.
Yeah, she gets all butthurt about it.
And she runs away and hides, and he can't find her, and it's in the middle of a typhoon, and he's running around looking for her, and he goes to ask the sexy Rio, like, I can't find the other one. She's like, the one place I would go. School. And then he goes to school and finds her there, and then he passes out because he just ran around in a typhoon.
Yeah, he goes there, and he's like, hey, your shit is bullshit. All right, cool. And then he turns around and passes out, and she takes him to the hospital. Also, one thing, as they were hanging out at the beach shooting Roman candles at each other, they're like, hey, let's go to the fireworks next week. And they're like, yeah, let's go to the fireworks next week. And that becomes plot relevant later.
Yeah, and after he ends up in the hospital, he has her talk on the phone with herself and ask herself if she can go to the fireworks festival.
I thought this segment was pretty cool because basically he's like, hey, you're still our buddy. You guys still come to fireworks with us and other best friend bullshit. I can't remember right now because I watched this episode a couple days ago. And she's like, can I go to the fireworks too? And he's like, that's not how you ask. And she's like, I want to go to the fireworks too. And he's like, I'm not the one you should be telling. And then we see her go over to the phone and she dials someone and she's like, I want to go to the fireworks too. And then we cut to Socrates' face for like a second, and then he looks over and then the phone is just dangling there.
And she's gone. And he goes and picks up the phone, and they're now back to being one person.
Yeah. And she's like, something. I don't remember what she says.
And they all go to the fireworks festival, and they have a good time.
I believe she does tell clueless best friend that she has the feels.
Yeah, she tells, you don't hear it, but she whispers to him, and then he's like, and she's like, you don't have to answer. Yeah.
And then she tells him he should probably make up with his girlfriend, because she, we find out earlier that they had a fight. And then she's like, you should make up with your girlfriend. And I'm like, bitch, that's not how you slide into those DMs.
Yeah, you don't slide into those DMs that way.
No, you don't go like, maybe you should work on strengthening your relationship. That's not how you get the guy.
But yeah, that was a really good episode. That was a good arc, and I liked it. I expected it to be 3 episodes like the previous ones, but they somehow did it in 2.
Me too.
And it didn't feel rushed.
Exactly. It ended satisfyingly in 2 episodes.
2 episodes for 2 Rios.
Oh, shit. That's thematic.
And I don't know who we're starting with next time.
I do.
I did, because I watched till the end, and it's
yes, it is
that blonde girl from TV.
Yeah, who is like, man, there's like an interview with her at one point in the episode, and she's like, man, I just really love my Sakurajima. And they're like, that's kind of a weird thing to just say in an interview.
I'm gonna call it right now. You know what the next thing is gonna be? Body switching.
Well, she wakes up and then
she looks real surprised, like almost.
Because
hey,
she has Mai's face.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be body switching. Like maybe Mai wakes up in her body.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Or she's turning into Mai.
I think my guess is that she is literally turning into Mai. Like, because it showed, I want to say it showed at one point them facing each other, and Mai was still, like, black-haired Japanese Mai.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't say for certain. Because that one actually took me a couple minutes to understand.
So then I think it's going to be that one, and then Umbrella Girl at the end.
Yeah, she will be our final girl.
And that is that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens with the next one. This show has been nice. It's been fun.
Yeah.
I liked it. I've had fun with it.
I'm glad
Best Girl's arc already ended, but I'm enjoying the other one.
Exactly. Even though Best Kohai is gone,
Best Kohai,
we can still enjoy the show. Because it's just a really solid show.
Best Kohai was only in like one scene for this arc, too.
She's just at work. Because, she works with our little rascal boy. So, next up, we got Zombieland Saga MVP Breakout Star of the Season.
I wanted to do...
along with Double Decker.
I already named one of the episodes. It's a Trap Edition. I don't think I can do it again unless it's a Trap Edition Part 2.
Yeah.
So we find out that Lily, the little girl member of the group, is actually named Maso Go.
Maso Go.
Which is a really manly name. And that's because Lily is a boy.
Yep, Lily is a guy.
The episode starts with her at a fan meet and greet, and he mentions, while he's doing the announcements, I liked how he's like, I think Junko's number 4. And he's like, number 4 is not going to be obviously meeting with you guys, so we have signed pictures you can buy.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of weird signed headshots. Like, I want to say there's one where Tai is just like chomping on her head or something.
Yeah. And while they're there, some huge dude
is like fucking, like, we cannot properly express, this man is Hulk size and proportions.
Yeah. No, not even well proportioned. Like, his head in one scene where he's
tiny.
He has a tiny head and giant hands and just a huge body.
It's like someone just like, I don't even know how to describe it. The man's body is huge, but he has a normal people's head.
Anyway, this dude sees Lily, and he starts to go into a weird trance where everyone starts freaking out because they see him get in her line, because there's a line you can get in to go meet the idols.
Yes, everyone
and they're all
has
freaking
their
out,
line.
like, what's he doing in Lily's line? And then he gets there, and he's like, You look just like, and he starts reaching forward.
Oh, yeah, he actually touches her.
And then Saki goes by and kicks him because you're not supposed to touch them.
Best Girl does a sweet leaping round lariat on this dude, and is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And then they basically ask,
is he dead?
Yeah, Lily, what the deal is with that guy, and she explains that she actually is a dude, and that's her dad.
Well, first, everyone's just kind of confused, and they're wondering where Lily is at night, because they all sleep in the same room in sleeping bags, essentially. And
they sleep on futons?
Whatever. Japanese sleeping bags.
Yeah, Japanese sleep. Excuses to sleep on the floor, like, oh, it's a futon. It's a sleeping bag.
It's basically a sleeping bag. It's like maybe a half step up. But naturally, Sakura, the person who we started this whole crazy adventure with, goes out to the playground and sees Lily, and Lily gives a whole plot dump on her backstory, how her dad loved TV and her mom died.
And she wanted to basically make her dad happy by being on TV. Just to make it easy, I'm just going to call Lily still a she.
Yeah, I was just going to stick with that too.
And she really liked how her dad and her loved TV so much that she wanted to be on TV, and then he became her agent. But then he got really pushy with, being like, "Oh, we got to get on this show. We got to meet this deadline.
Yep.
We got this scheduled for later today."
She was overworked.
And she wanted to maintain her cute appearance for as long as possible, and then one time she's looking in the mirror and sees facial hair starts growing.
Yes.
And dies from shock.
She is...
straight up dead.
She is already freaking out because, she's got some leg hair going on. She's like, I'm going to stay this cute forever. And then she sees the one hair.
Which, that's not even that, women get leg hair.
Yeah. I don't
the
know.
facial hair one, that's the...
That's the clincher.
Yeah.
Because, shit. And she just keels over.
And dies.
And that also explains why Lily's heart is often in her character design outside of her chest. Because...
basically a heart attack.
Yeah. She is super dead.
And so she feels bad about how things ended with her dad. So she decides to write a song specifically about that and for him, and invites him to come to one of their shows where they're going to perform it. And this is why I think the CG might be a joke, where in the one serious song they do, didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not CG. It's actual, 2D animation. And I believe you are correct. I think that clinches the fact that it is a running gag.
Yeah, it's a joke on all those idol shows and stuff have terrible CG.
And you know what? The animation looks decent.
Yeah.
I was fairly impressed. And I don't really like poppy things all that much, but man, I like the music in this show. I like seeing them perform.
Yeah.
And I like listening to the songs.
I also like how they had a new one in this one too, where they had Lily's song, where it was nice, and I like how it's not the same one over and over again. They have new material. Or instead of one show, it's we're just going to do that one song every time there's a song number.
Whenever we need to prove that we're performing, we're going to play this song.
That one.
That's our song. But no, they actually, wrote and performed different music, and it's good.
Oh, and yeah, so this episode basically was Lily's backstory episode. I saw the preview for the next one. We're getting Saki's episode.
We get to learn about Best Girl Saki.
Bikers.
We get, and the title is so long, which I thought was hilarious. I do not know it off the top because it is it took up the whole screen, basically. So I'm excited. I want to know more about Saki.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a backstory episode for everybody, probably topping off with Sakura's at the end because she's the main character.
Yes.
Because she doesn't remember anything.
Because she was hit by a van and her skull cracked open real bad.
Yeah.
She does keep getting flashes of the idol show she was watching before she was hit by said van, though.
Yeah.
That's probably a little relevant.
Maybe... I feel like maybe when she was alive, she probably wanted to be an idol because her room was full of idol stuff.
I believe so.
Which has me wonder if maybe, just maybe, because that part with Necroducer on the track,
she was related.
Necroducer was the one that hit her with his car and felt so bad about it, he decided to make her dream of being an idol come true.
You know what? That would, honestly, that would be really good. I could be happy with that. Because that seems like this character is so erratic that it would totally make sense.
That's what he's going to do. It's like, oh, I need to make this right. I'll raise her as a zombie and raise a bunch of other people as zombies, and then I'll make them a successful idol group, and then she'll get to live out her dream.
And then it'll be fine that I hit her with my van and killed her.
I like how at the beginning, too, every episode he always yells at her for taking too much pride in something.
Yeah.
And this one, he's like, aren't you excited? Aren't you happy you guys ended up in a magazine? And she's like, well, aren't you going to yell at me to...
Aren't you going to yell at us to say not to get carried away?
He's like, of course you can get carried away. You're in a magazine.
This is the time to get carried away. Baka zombie. Man, I love him.
It's a good show. It's consistently always a good show.
It is.
And you know what was good this week, which I really enjoyed? Miss Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with this episode. For once, I did not absolutely hate Ellie with the core of my being.
Yeah, she was fine in this one.
Yeah.
So the start of it, I think the A-plot is they're studying?
I think that might actually...
Or is that the B-plot?
I think that might be the A and B plot. Because I don't remember another plot.
Yeah, I think it was just that they're studying.
And
they get distracted.
Yes.
Which is a very relatable one.
Oh, yeah. Because summer break is ending, and naturally they have, like...
all their homework they saved for the last day.
Yeah. So they basically... I think they spend, like, almost 2 days straight just doing their homework.
And then Sophie and Ellie basically distract them the whole time. Sophie doesn't even try to. It's just... They almost use her as a distraction.
Yeah.
And Ellie shows up and she's like, hey, I can help you with your homework. And they're like, yeah, really? And she's like, yeah. And then she takes the notebook and is like, yeah, I'm still not really good at writing in Japanese. Is it all right if I write this in Hungarian?
Yeah, and then best friend is like, well, now they'll definitely know that someone else did it. It's good stuff.
And then after they decide to have a sleepover... because that's what they do a lot in this show.
They do a lot of sleepovers.
That's like the thing. That's the main thing. And they're all deciding a good place to sleep, and Sophie decides she likes it right in between the wall and the bed.
Yeah, because they're like, hey, vampires can sleep in bed sometimes. You know, it'll be a good change of pace. And then they do like a couple quick shots of like...
everyone's changing positions on finding where's the most comfortable place to sleep.
Yep, and then Sophie, basically takes the one place that's like a coffin. It's darker, it's cramped, it's in between the bed and the wall.
And they get Sophie to finally take a bath, because turns out she doesn't believe in baths.
Nope.
She doesn't need them because she's a vampire, but she has a thing against them.
She was raised in a time period where baths were thought of as bad. So they make her take a bath.
And I'm like, what fucking time period is that? I don't recall any time period thinking baths were bad.
You know, I was wondering the same thing. But I was like, I like this show, so I'm not going to think about that one too hard.
She's like 300 and something, so that means she was around in the...
I think she might be... No, maybe it's Ellie who's 460 or something like that. Oh, no, I remember what the B-plot is.
From like the 1700s or the 1800s, at least Sophie is.
Yeah, she's real-ass old because she's a vampire.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of what the B-plot is. They go to Electronics Town in Japan.
Yeah. They go to Akihabara.
Yeah.
Akihabara?
Akihabara?
Yeah.
We'll go with that. They go there because Sophie's like, guys, you've been doing your homework for a long time. I want to hang out. And they're like, yeah, we'll go to Akihabara. That's fine. Actually, no. She decides to go by herself.
And they all decide to tag along. And she doesn't want everybody to go because naturally, she just wants to go and just do some quick shopping.
She just wants to go look at some manga, look at maybe like buy some comics and shit, do something, and then naturally...
everyone's like, okay, we're all going to go too.
Yeah, oh, that sounds like fun. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, and because Ellie has the idea when they mention, like, oh, yeah, it's like the electronics city. She has, like, this neon vision in her mind.
Yeah, and then they go, and it's just a city.
Yeah.
It just looks like a city, and she's like, oh.
And then they go to a maid cafe, and the maids there just, you know...
First, they go to the bookstore... And they...
Oh, yeah!
Sophie, they see...
It kind of plays with the fact that they're older than they look. And they're like, hey, let's go into the adults, like the mature section of the bookstore.
And it just fucking immediately, there's a woman who's like, you guys can come back when you're older. And it's great.
Like, the second they walk in, immediately you just see them get slid back out.
Just instant. And then they go to the maid cafe.
And yeah, at the maid cafe, they're all getting their orders, and Sophie gets an omelet, and the maid's like, I'm gonna give you my special, like, omelet tasting better magic spell.
I had never connected with Sophie more than I had in this moment. They do that stupid song.
Yeah, or it's something like Choo Choo Love Beam or something.
It's like, tastes good.
Yeah.
Moe Moe Chu.
And then,
you make the heart symbol with your hands.
And Sophie's like, do I really have to do this? I'm 360.
Yes, I'm 360 years old. Do I have to do this? And the maid is like, yes. Wait a minute, 360 years old?
Oh, and then after the maids are being questioned, a couple of guys are at the restaurant and they're talking to the maid and they're like, hey, so how old are you? And she's like, forever 17. And then Sophie and Ellie get up like, to think one of our kind was here.
Yeah, who'd have thought that vampires would be moving up in the world?
Yeah, getting real jobs and stuff.
It's good shit. And then they leave because they're like, actually, she's not a vampire. She's just a maid who works in a maid cafe. And she's not a dragon either.
And yeah, that was it. And
more just pleasant adventures.
It's just it's the break show in the week where it's like, all right, I've had some high intense action. I just need to. I've had some drama happening with with some of the other shows.
Yeah.
I need just nothing's going on. It's okay. Goblins aren't raping people. There's no relationship problems. Doug's not getting kidnapped.
This was a good show to watch after Zombieland Saga, because that one did hit me right in the feels.
Yeah, that one actually was. That was a heavy episode for as far as the show goes.
Yeah.
That was the one that actually was the most serious.
And it was real good. They pulled it off. But anyway, let's move on.
To JoJo.
Part 5.
Where it is a stand battle between...
Kraftwerk.
Yeah, Mista and this guy in his stand Kraftwerk.
Yes, we get to see the Sex Pistols fight Kraftwerk, which I have listened to Kraftwerk songs. They're okay. They're like weird 80s electronica they look like a German post-electronica band, and they're weird.
Yeah, the whole fight basically takes place on a moving truck.
Yeah, it's cool.
And the way it works is Kraftwerk's ability is it can almost freeze things.
He sticks things in position.
Yeah, he freezes them in like a space. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Mista literally shoots him in the head.
And he can stop the bullet right there before it enters his skull. Yeah, he freezes things in place, and Mista's stand is bullets, so the second bullets touch him, he can just stop them, so it's kind of difficult to shoot him.
At first, it feels like, shit, this dude is literally the hardest counter to Mista. But we will see how Mista gets around this as the fight continues. So they shoot at him, and he's like, shit, that doesn't work. And then there's some shit where the dude, like, falls off or something. I forget how he gets off the truck. But essentially, he shows us how cool Kraftwerk is by basically throwing, like, handfuls of rocks into the air and freezing them.
And then crawling across the rocks.
Yeah, using it as, like, a mid-air ladder. I think that's cool as shit. That was the thing that made me like, all right.
Yeah, that's a cool stand.
I would be happy if I had Kraftwerk.
Yeah, I don't think I'd let myself get shot, though.
No.
And he can sort of, like, set something to be sped up where some of Mista's bullets are still in the air, and he just taps on them for a little bit, and then the second he releases them, they go flying.
Yes, he taps on them to, like, build up the energy in them as they're frozen. And he's like, I can't do it too hard because then that'll throw my aim off. And I'm like, you didn't have to do that, show. I was good without just like, oh, he taps the bullets to add small increments of energy and eventually they just shoot back.
Yeah, he basically shoots Mista with one of his own bullets through the stomach.
Yeah, this is cool shit.
And Mista ends up running out of bullets, and he has one more, and he tells the enemy that he only has one more bullet. And he's like, why are you telling me this? He's like, because you're going to get cocky.
Yeah. It's an interesting way of making your opponent lower his guard. And you know what? It fucking works.
Yep, he shoots the bullet at him, and he
actually splits it in half. He has his stand split the bullet in half and then go around and shoot
He has the bullet split in half, and then it hit the bullet that's already stuck in the guy's head and push it in further.
Yeah.
Which basically goes right into his brain.
And it kills him. And that's how he wins the fight.
I don't even know if does it kill him, because he dragged the guy's body off like he was still alive. Like,
actually, that's a good point.
I think he's just brain dead now.
He might just have like super bad brain damage, because it went in real slow and then just like stopped.
Yeah.
So he could potentially not be dead. I don't know.
I think at that point, I think he would just rather be shot.
Yeah. I would rather just have a dude shoot me in the face.
Yeah.
But this is cool because stand battles are always cool.
And the whole episode, the truck driver is just getting frustrated because Mista's on the roof and he keeps going down like, "What are you doing? Go!" And then he goes back down. "What? Stop!"
Why are you not stopping? What's wrong with you?
And then he drops back down again. "If you don't go, I'm gonna shoot you."
It's pretty good.
"Whatever you do, don't have this car stop."
And at the end of the episode, because Giorno does not realize that Mista has made his way back.
And the driver's all pissed off, like, "Man, what is with these people? No respect." And then Giorno gets in the car. "Listen, I need you to get me to the top of that mountain as fast as possible."
It's good shit. That is some good comedic stuff.
Yeah, it was a good episode. There wasn't a lot to talk about since it's just the fight.
Yeah, it's just a stand battle. I feel bad saying it's just a stand battle because the stand battles are always wicked cool, but there's not like a ton to describe. It's just sort of like, what does the stand do? How does he defeat the stand?
Yeah, because a lot of it was just mind games with each other.
Yeah. That's a lot of the JoJo stand battles.
Oh yeah, we do learn about, I almost forgot, it was at the beginning of the episode, his Mista's backstory, which he was just this happy-go-lucky guy who had never really any concerns in life.
Just kind of like a easy-going thug.
Till he saw a couple of mobsters raping some woman, and then he shot all three of them. Oh, and he got so lucky that all the bullets that were fired at him just missed.
Yes.
Like, they shot, all three mobsters were shooting at him and completely missing.
Literally all of them missed, and then he fired back and killed all of them with headshots because he is Mista, and that's what he does.
He is the gun guy.
He is the gun man, and he uses the gun. And it was cool, and I want to see who the next one is. I'm excited.
And you know what else was cool? Double Decker.
Double Decker. Don't sink. Feel so good.
Double Decker. Doug gets kidnapped.
Doug gets fucking kidnapped by Esperanza.
And so in this episode, they are recruited by the military to help with a operation. And it turns out the narrator said, because all of you viewers are so smart, you already know this, but 7-0 actually is a division of the military.
Yep, it's also under military control.
Yep, which we didn't know, but they just threw that in there and just were like, yeah, you've always known that.
Yeah.
Because that's how the narrator works.
The narrator is great, and I love him.
And a guy running for mayor, his daughter is kidnapped, so they plan a sting operation during the exchange, and Doug goes with the mayor in disguise. However, Esperanza is aware of this, and they create a huge diversion, which makes it so none of them can get there, and then they grab Doug and escape.
Because it turns out that the mayor the mayoral candidate, I should say, was conspiring with Esperanza to basically make himself look like a hero, like he rescued his own daughter, because he could oust the other mayor who has strict anti-drug policies. However, this doesn't work, and they end up kidnapping Doug, and they beat the shit out of the mayor dude.
And then they torture Doug for information because they want to know basically they want to know the secret of the bullets that they use to stop Anthem users. And you find that cripple guy that basically pulled the usual suspects at the end. And
Zabel. And
it turns out Zabel, or Z of Esperanza, Doug says to him, I see now, you were the leader all along. It's not A to Z with A on top, it's A to Z with Z on top, meaning the order's reversed.
Yes. So basically, Doug figures that out.
Yeah, Z is in charge.
Also, at the top of the episode, Dr. Apple gives us 3 new sweet gadgets.
Yeah, super speed roller skates.
Rocket roller skates.
Yeah, rocket roller skates, a jetpack, and this thing where he can see out of all of their eyes.
It's like a weird contact lens.
Yeah.
That has a camera and all that stuff.
And they use that to actually find Doug. They tap into his contact lens, and they have the flashing screen as Morse code on it, so Doug knows. And Doug speaks back to them by blinking, so they communicate through Morse code. And Kirill comes up with a plan to go save Doug.
It is the dumbest plan ever, but it is a Kirill plan, and god damn it, it's awesome.
Where they have Pink just start shooting cars, having them explode, and Kirill flies through on the rocket roller skates, and Doug makes his escape and jumps out of the building, which I don't think he knew Kirill had a jetpack, so...
No, he did not. Doug was making a dumb move.
And Kirill used his jetpack to basically fly up and save Doug, and with Doug on his shoulders, now they're riding on roller skates around while Doug is shooting at the bad guys.
It's fucking great.
And Max and Robot are in a helicopter shooting down at the bad guys, and it is just a big mess.
It is the biggest mess ever, and it's it basically goes off without a hitch, except for the fact that Kirill runs out of jetpack juice just shy of getting to the helicopter.
Yeah, he reaches out to grab Robot's hand, and he's about to fall, but since Doug is on his shoulders, Doug grabs her.
Yep, and basically carries him with the strength of his mighty Doug legs.
And at the end of the episode, Doug's in the hospital, and Kirill goes to see him, and Kirill, he thanks Kirill. He's like, hey, thanks for doing that, because I wouldn't have done the same for you.
Yeah, that's not something that I would have done, so thank you so much. You're my hero, Kirill. And Kirill's like,
wait, why would... Yeah, he's like, He's like, why didn't you come to save me that one time?
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
I like when Doug is kidnapped in this episode, too. Kirill's, first thing he says is, I'm supposed to be the one who gets kidnapped.
Yeah. It's the best. The reaction is so good. And
they cause so much property damage while saving Doug, but Travis, boss, got them out of it by basically saying, the military is going to take full responsibility for this mission.
The military will take full responsibility, as in... we're not taking responsibility for this. The military is. And the general guy who has, the best facial hair I've ever seen ever, he also visits Doug, and he encounters Kirill as he is leaving, and Kirill is going in. And Kirill...
he asks Kirill, he's like, hey, where'd you get that phrase, don't think, feel so good?
Don't think, feel so good. And Kirill's like, it's something my grandfather used to say, but I kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, I forgot how it went, so I'm just kind of paraphrasing it.
Yeah. And the general is like, it's some kind of prayer or something, some weird phrase that I really wish I had written down because it's interesting. But it's it makes me think of the whole mystery, Kirill's sister, who's that? And then they just kind of solved that in the next episode.
Yeah, they kind of moved past that, we'll get back to that at some point.
And I'm kind of thinking that they'll do that with this. I kind of hope it's a little bit more interesting than just here it is.
I think it will be. I think this is more important.
It
than Kirill's sister.
It feels more important.
Yeah.
Because, this is a general, man.
And, yeah, it was a good episode. All the double-decker episodes, all the Zombieland Saga episodes are good. They're competing with each other.
Yeah.
For show of the season. To
be honest, I don't... If I had to pick right now, I'm not sure who I would pick. If I picked, it would probably just be one at random. Yeah. I love these shows so much.
It would be a coin flip for me, too.
They're so good.
They both offer something that's completely different from one another, which is why they're really hard to compare.
Exactly.
But again, at the end, we got to pick a show at the season by the end.
I know, that's going to be hard.
That is.
I suppose we should probably move on
to Hinamaru Sumo, which I'm kind of done with Hinamaru Sumo.
I am super done with Hinamaru Sumo. This is another episode in this mini tournament arc, and it's like one thing happens. Basically, white-haired thug member
Yuma, I think his name is.
Yuma fights a dude with his super slaps, and does he? That's not
Yuma
a good
loses.
sign. Does he win?
I forget who won. No, Thickest Boy won his bout.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause Yuma loses, and then Thickest Boy goes in, and Thickest Boy wins because he is so evenly matched with this other dude.
Oh, and we find that Yuma learned karate to help him in sumo.
Well, he learned karate to beat up kids because he's a thug.
And then after, he decided to go back to his former sensei and beg to be taught again, except this time to use his karate to help him in sumo.
Bow to your sensei.
And Thickest Boy had his fight with the other team's Thickest Boy.
Yeah, literally the same exact person.
The actual sumo fight happens where two fat dudes fight. So this is the first real sumo fight we've had.
And it was fine. They were literally so evenly matched that not quite Thickest Boy picks up Thickest Boy and just like goes right over the side of the arena with him. But unfortunately, he hits the ground first, or at least that's what the referee thinks. So he loses.
And then now next episode is going to be Hinamaru versus their Hinamaru.
Yeah.
The two best breakout stars of each team. And you know what?
I don't care.
I don't want to watch that.
I don't care about
Hinamaru and the other guy.
I literally don't care about how the tournament arc ends.
I don't either. I've never been that into this show. I don't think it's bad. I just don't really care about it.
I wanted to like this show so much, but it's just I can't care anymore. It's boring. I find myself bored.
Who knew sumo, out of all the martial arts you could make a show about, would be the least interesting?
Yeah, make more grappler Baki.
Yeah, make more Baki. Where's that Baki? Make more Baki.
Where's that Baki?
Where's that Baki?
Baki.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put in for no more Hinamaru Sumo.
I agree. Goodbye.
Bye, Hinamaru Sumo.
I'll miss your outro and intro.
Yeah, we'll miss your opening and ending.
Yeah. Not anything in between, just those parts.
Yeah, can we just kind of have only that?
I'll look them up on YouTube every week.
Ha! Ha!
Yeah, I love them. I love them a lot. It's so good.
Iraduku, The World in Color.
I like the show.
I do also enjoy this show. Also, this was a very Granny-focused episode, and Granny's great. Granny proves once again she is a good wingman.
Yeah, she's the fucking best wingman ever.
And the whole episode, she is trying to help hook up her granddaughter with Ai.
Yep, so she can see... Well, the guys they're doing an experiment to see how their interactions mean that she can see colors again.
She even asked her, she's like, so what happened with you guys the other day? And she's like, he handed me back my umbrella. And she's like, oh, I would have thought you guys at least, like, kissed or something.
Yeah, I thought you guys would have at least kissed. Oh, well. And then they do quote-unquote experimentes.
Where she just has them stand close to each other, and then after she has her stuff fall under a table on the desk they're both sitting at, and then when they go down to pick it up, she has the chairs magically push them both under it.
Essentially locking them under this dead table.
And she's like, do you feel anything yet? And she's like, yeah, annoyed.
I thought that was pretty good. And they also... the fuck? I watched this episode today. What did they do?
I watched it yesterday. So they they ended up, Granny's trying to find a way to send Hitomi back to the future when she wants to.
That's right.
And she learns a little bit of time magic, but it's not that good.
Yes.
Like, she resets a flower from being dead, but it only lasts, like, a day.
And she does the same thing with Second Girl's camera.
Yeah. And this episode had a lot of the main character, or not the main character, the club president guy, sort of, every time Hitomi's doing something, he kind of has a serious look on his face when they're talking about her leaving.
Yeah, it's super clear that it's going to be conflict. Like, I and club president both like this girl, but this girl, Hitomi, only likes I. Oh my god. So they gotta set her up.
I think they were
girl.
sitting there editing photos together the whole time, and he was actually gonna say something to her. He's like, "Hey, Hitomi," and she's like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, never mind."
Yeah, nothing. Don't worry about it.
I notice that's a lot of the show where people want to talk about something, but they don't actually talk about it. They go, "It's not important."
Yeah, don't worry, it's not important. I'm just from 60 years in the future, and I can't see colors, and my grandmother sent me back, and oh yeah, that's my grandmother.
But then you find out at the end of the episode, where the Granny's been focused the whole time on how to send her back to the future. She says, "You know, I wouldn't mind just staying here."
Yeah.
And then she thinks, "Oh,
fuck."
Yeah, fuck.
I wanted to make people happy with magic. How do I do that with this situation? How does that work? So
yeah, that's the thing I'm wondering about this show. Does she go back, or that's why I'm sticking with it for the long haul. I want to know, does she go back to the future, or does she stay in the past?
That's kind of been my big mystery about it too, because like,
she seems to fit in better in the past. It's not like she ever mentions having friends or anything in the future.
Yeah, I think
there seems like less of a reason to go back.
Exactly.
Also, time doesn't seem fragile in this to the point where if she stayed, anything would be a problem.
Yeah, because I remember my mom was like, "But she's got to go back," and my reply was,
"Why?
Why?"
Yeah. It's not like, oh, butterfly effect, and if she doesn't go back to the future anyway, it doesn't matter. So that future doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
because it doesn't seem like it's the sort of deal where it has to repeat its own cycle for it to work.
Yeah, it's just kind of she is just in the past now.
That's just how it is. She just lives in the past, and she likes it there. So she's fine with it.
Yeah, so, like, who cares?
Yeah, so I wonder how that's going to affect Granny.
Yeah, because that's going to have some pretty big consequences in the magic community. Like, hey, you sent someone 60 years into the past. Now they don't want to leave.
Well, I don't think it's going to have an issue, though, because everyone seems fine with everything.
Yeah, that's true.
She shows up out of the blue like, hey, she's not here right now, but I'm your daughter and your granddaughter's granddaughter.
Yeah, and
they're like, oh, cool, you should live with us. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, you can, like, bunk in the attic, which, by the way, I think that attic room is real cool.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's got, like, a little hole in the little hamster hole thing.
It's got a hamster hole. It's got a reading nook.
They got a
with
cool
skylight.
room.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, they got a sick room.
I like that house, actually. I would be happy if I lived in a house that was modeled after that one.
Yeah, it's a nice house. Every time I see it, I'm like, they got a sick-ass room.
They got a nice... I like this house.
They share it, too. Makes me wish I was, like, when I was younger, I had a brother or something, so I could have, like, you know, a sick-ass combined room.
Yeah, there's so much room for activities. Make a bunk bed.
Yeah, I gotta build your own bunk bed.
So, yeah, just a solid week for anime.
Always solid. Everything has been good this season. Even the things that... Hina, Maru, Sumo... I don't think it's a bad show.
No,
I just personally don't like it.
It is harder to watch.
Even that time I got reincarnated as a slime, I didn't think it was a bad show. The only show on our list that I thought was bad was just Ulysses.
Oh, yeah. I hate Ulysses. Ulysses is bad and can suck a dink.
But yeah, Hinamaru Sumo, goodbye. You were okay. You were not great. You were not terrible.
You're technically not expelled, but no one's gonna hang out with you anymore.
Yeah, it's like how Thickest Boy didn't have the sumo club at the start. You're just gonna have to go outside and just stomp around in a dirt circle.
Yeah, you can just hang out in your homemade sumo pits. Yeah, solid weeks. If you like our stuff, consider subscribing.
Consider subscribing to the channel, please.
Subscribe to YouTube channel.
Or check out our Twitter at Protagonist Seat. That's the handle, at Protagonist Seat.
Yes, at Protagonist Seat.
Yeah.
Come say hi. Tell us how awesome our show is and how good of a job we do.
Or if you really like Hina, Maru, Sumo, tell us what a huge mistake we've made.
Yeah, tell us about that weird, no, as soon as this arc ends, it just gets super good. Yeah. It goes in a super dark direction.
One of the manga readers just fill us in on what we're going to miss.
Yeah. Send us detailed notes. Send us cliff notes.
Leave a comment of just spoil the entire series up to the current chapter.
Yeah, so we can just be like, oh, cool. And we don't have to watch it anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to watch it. We'll just know. Like, oh, Hinamaru, he actually does become, what is it called, Yokozuna?
Yes, the Yokozuna.
He becomes Yokozuna, but then the series takes a weird turn where it's not even about martial arts anymore. Now he actually has to get, a career and stuff after because he uses all his money and blows it on gambling.
Yeah, so he has to find, an actual career.
That'd be interesting.
So anyway, that was a good bit.
That was the Protagonist Seat. See you next time.
And don't forget, don't sink. Feel so good.